Hey, everybody, fellow Americans, fellow religious folk. I just want to point out that the United States isn't free anymore. I mean, this is probably no surprise to any of you. But the specific freedom I want to talk about today is freedom of or from religion. In this country, we don't have it anymore. That is a non existent thing, freedom of religion, especially if you are a Muslim. If you aren't a Christian or a Jew, or any of these quote unquote non-violent religions, then you don't really have any rights in this country. You don't have a right to practice your religion, and you certainly don't have a right to go to another country to practice your religion. It's sad. It is very sad. So let's get started. Here in the New York Times, I'll leave the link to this article below. It's from Minneapolis to ISIS, an American's path to jihad. They're making it sound like this horrible thing. So this guy Abdi Nur, he after his 20th birthday, he up and just leaves. His family didn't know where he went. Nobody knew where he went, and then he posts a picture from Syria holding a Kalashnikov. And that's not the worst part to me. He actually made it. He's living his quote unquote dream. Um, he's practicing his religion. He's doing what he believes is right. Even if I don't agree with it, and I certainly don't, and I'm sure most of you don't agree with what this guy did, convert to Islam and then jump over and start, uh, I guess fighting against what they believe to be a threat to their religion. But the worst part here is this guy, Abdullahi Yusuf, was stopped as he tried to depart. So he was leaving with this guy. He didn't make it. And now that guy he was stopped as he tried to leave the country and is now in a Minneapolis halfway house, part of a closely watched experiment to spare him a long prison term and give him a role dissuading others attracted to terrorism. So now Muslim equals terrorist, unfortunately, and that's in the eyes of the government. So even if you don't kill anybody or you don't make these blanket threats to kill other people based off of your religion, you get stopped. You get stopped and you get jailed, and you are forced to lie to yourself, and you are forced to lie to those around you so that you don't end up in jail for a long time. Dude shouldn't have ended up in jail anyway. He was trying to go to another country. Whatever his intentions are, it doesn't really matter because he's trying to go there to practice his religion. He believes in what he's doing. I don't agree with what he's doing. I don't agree with ISIS, but I believe that if he feels that his religion is calling for him to practice it in a different country, that he should be allowed to do so. As bad as ISIS is and as horrible as what they are doing is, we have to protect the freedoms absolutely, or we will absolutely lose them. And that's no joke. It may be Muslims today, but you just wait. If the Christian right wingers and the NRA and all these other right wing Christian groups, if they start hating on our government, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to claim that, oh, the government is trying to keep us from practicing our Christianity, and we're going to load up our guns and we're going to take it back. How is that much different from what ISIS is doing? Because that's what ISIS is doing. ISIS is saying these other people are threatening their religion, and they're going to take over this land, and they're going to build their own. They call it a caliphate, whatever. Call it whatever you want to. They are ISIS is trying to put themselves in a position where they can practice religion in the largest area possible. That's how I see it. And they believe that their religion is calling them, their God is calling them to do this stuff. I can't say that their God isn't. or is telling them, because I don't believe in any of that crap. I don't think Christians talk to God. I don't think Muslims talk to God. I don't think there is a God. But I do believe in the right to believe however in the hell you want to believe. And if that means flying over to Syria, grabbing a Kalashnikov, and dying for your religious belief, then so be it. So be it. Because the United States government, a majority of our politicians are Christians. So it can be construed that what they do is based off of their religious morals and their religious beliefs. Whether they go around saying, well, God told me to do this, doesn't matter. They've gone into these Middle Eastern countries and they have started bombing them, killing innocent people. They've been doing it for 20 years now or more, 30, 40 years even. They've been bombing and killing these people for more than a generation. And one could say that this is based off of the Christian morality, that they believe that the United States government believes that they're right. So what's the difference? Oh, it's okay if the US government does it, but it's not okay if these people do it. And certainly not okay if Americans are already over there fighting and now these religious nutbags start killing people and our troops are already over there, so that means they're probably going to kill our troops too. Well, then get your troops out of there. They shouldn't have been there in the first place. We don't belong there. We don't belong there. It's not our land. We're not here to occupy everybody. We're not here to build this huge ass empire. We shouldn't be. We're not here to spread democracy because hell, that's what Hitler did. He was spreading his, political ideology on the countries around him. That's what he did. So how are we any better? By doing what we're doing, how are we any better than those other people that we've hated throughout history? ISIS, Hitler. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on. So I realize a lot of people are going to maybe be upset by what I'm saying, but I'm not condoning ISIS. I'm not condoning a conversion over to Islam so that you can go over and pick up arms and kill people. I will never defend the actions of doing that, but what I do defend is the absolute freedom of religion. Just because he believes one way doesn't mean you have to. Just because you believe this way doesn't mean the other guy has to. But we all have to realize that everybody believes differently from us. That's the beauty of freedom, is that we have to accept and tolerate these things. We can't be stopping people from going over to another country to practice their religion. That's sending the wrong message, and that is just one chip out of the religious freedom that is already degrading in this country. All of our freedoms are degrading in this country. And this is just one more reason why, one more thing that they're doing to keep us from having ultimate freedom. And now I get most of you don't like ISIS, and I know that most of you probably don't like Muslims or Islam in general. But just think if that was you trying to practice your own religion and the government says, yeah, nope. And guess what? Now you're going to have to do to keep from going to prison for a long time. You're going to have to go around and lie to everybody and say, you're not a Christian and Christian is terrorism. I mean, this is basically the same thing. So we need to send a message to the government and tell them to stop this shit, because it may be Muslims today, but it could be Christianity tomorrow. You think about that, because you give the government an inch and they're going to take that yardstick and beat you with it. You can't give them any power over you because you will never get it back. That's all for now, folks. If you like it, share it. Leave a comment if you agree or disagree. We'll see you later.